Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for joining us in this very early press conference. We appreciate your presence. Today we have House Committee on Good Government and Public Accountability Chairman Joel Chua of Manila and House Sergeant at Arms, retired Police Major General Napoleon Napsi Taas. So basically, they are here to give us update on the circumstances surrounding the transfer of Attorney Lopez earlier. And then before we open the floor for media questions, we ask our distinguished guests to give their short opening comments. Sir, Chairman Joel.
Yeah, good morning everyone. Sana po ay ma-address po namin yung mga tanong po ninyo. Nandito po kami para sagutin po lahat ng inyong mga katanungan. Magandang umaga.
Yes, sir.
I'll go direct to the point. I don't have any other remarks. Welcome na po si Chairman. I'll give you an update as to what happened yesterday evening, up to early morning today. The House Committee on Good Government and Public Accountability, chaired by the Honorable Joel R. Chua, has resolved to transfer Attorney Zuleika Lopez, Undersecretary and Chief of Staff of the Office of the Vice President, to the Women's Correctional Facility in Mandaluyong City. However, the execution of this lawful order was directly obstructed by the Vice President Sara Duterte, who took the extraordinary step of introducing herself as Attorney Lopez's legal counsel and physically intervening to prevent the service of the transfer order. This act of interference demonstrates a blatant disregard for institutional authority and due process, setting a dangerous precedent for abuse of power. The Vice President's intervention came during her visit to the House Detention Facility, which had been initially permitted under specific guidelines. Instead of adhering to those parameters, the VP escalated the situation by overstaying her visit and ignoring repeated directives from the Sergeant at Arms to leave the premises. She then locked herself inside the office of Davao City Representative Paulo Duterte, prompting a lockdown of the entire House premises. The specific actions taken by the Vice President to block the order include: first, assuming the role of legal counsel for Attorney Lopez to impede the committee's directive. Second, physically preventing House security personnel from executing the transfer order. Third, disrupting House operations and disregarding established rules governing visits to detainees. And last, compromising security protocols by bringing an excessive and unauthorized armed presence into the complex. The Vice President's action caused significant disruptions, including excessive resource strain, the allocation of security personnel, and compromised safety within the House premises. These alarming acts of defiance by the Vice President severely undermined the authority of the House and disrupted its operations. The committee's decision to transfer Attorney Lopez stems from the Vice President's repeated and deliberate breaches of security guidelines, including flouting rules on visitor conduct and overstaying within the House detention facility, ignoring orders to vacate the premises and defying House security personnel, and creating a hostile environment by compromising the safety and functionality of the House complex. The Vice President's blatant interference in the lawful order of the committee and her abuse of privilege represent an unprecedented attack on institutional processes. The committee, therefore, stands firm in its resolution to enforce the transfer of Attorney Lopez to the Women's Correctional Facility and calls for swift measures to restore respect for institutional authority and the rule of law. The committee stresses that the Vice President's actions undermine not just the integrity of the House of Representatives, but also the very principles of accountability, and good governance. Thank you.
Napag-desisyonan po na mag-meet ng committee November 22 up to the point na sinerve or binasa yung ating transfer order kay Atty. Lopez.
Ako muna. Kagabi po, kahapon po kasi nagkaroon po kami ng concern, yung mga miyembro po ng ating committee nag-request po ng Zoom special meeting sa ating committee dahil nga po sa na-alarm po yung mga miyembro po ng committee dahil nga po sa mga request ng ating Vice President. Nakatanggap po kasi kami ng 2 sulat. Yung isang sulat po ay galing po sa kay Congressman Pulong Duterte kung saan ini-inform po niya ang committee na ang Vice President daw ay pinapayagan niya na mag-stay sa kanyang opisina. At yung pangalawang sulat naman po ay nakatanggap po kami ng sulat galing po sa ating Vice President na payagan siya na mag-jogging sa vicinity ng House of Representatives. So ito pong 2 sulat ay ating pong isinumite sa ating mga miyembro through Viber. Pinag-usapan po namin at amin pong doon po sa aming pag-uusap, sabi po ng mga miyembro natin ay wala naman po ito sa aming kamay dahil hindi naman po ito ay wala na po ito sa jurisdiction ng aming committee. Kaya napagdesisyonan po na ito po ay i-refer sa Sergeant at Arms. At yung nga po ang nangyari, ito po i-refer namin yung sulat sa Sergeant at Arms. Pero yung mga miyembro po ay after a while, nakatanggap na naman po tayo ng tawag sa mga miyembro at concern dahil nga po meron daw mga nagpo-post ng mga sa Facebook tungkol po dito sa mga sulat. So medyo na-alarma po yung mga miyembro kaya nag-request po ng Zoom meeting. At kami nga po ay nagkaroon ng special session kagabi through Zoom, via Zoom po. At doon po sa aming pag-uusap, ang isa nga po sa mga napag-usapan ay yung security risk. Hindi lamang po ng ating House of Representatives, pati na rin po ng ating Vice President. Kaya nga po napag-desisyonan po ng mga miyembro ay ito po ay transfer doon sa pasilidad na mas may kapasidad at may kakayahan na ma-secure. Nang sa ganun po ay maging maayos. Dahil alam naman po natin na pag nandiyan po yung Vice President, yung mga security po natin ay mababawasan. Ito po ay tututok sa ating Vice President at mawawalan po ng security yung mga ilang outpost po dito. Kaya yung po yung napagdesisyonan, pan motion po, unanimously po, ito ay pinagbotohan. So, kaya po yun ang naging desisyon po ng committee at naglabas po kami ng order.
Saan oras po yung meeting?
Kung di po ako nagkakamali, pasado, alis 11. Hindi. Yung order. I think past 7 or 8, parang gano'n. Hindi ko na masyadong na-monitor because umiikot po kasi ako noon sa aking district. So nung nagkaroon po kami ng, I think 7:30, between 7:30 to 8:30, around those times.
Sir, after po pag-desisyon ng komite na transfer si Atty. Lopez, anong oras po yung unang beses na binasa po kay Atty. Lopez yung transfer order?
Kung matandaan ko po mga bago hating gabi. Siguro pa mga 11:45 or thereabouts. Yun yung first na binasa ko ng ating mga kababaihan na LSP, yung kay Atty. Lopez na kailangan nung i-implement ng Legislative Security Bureau yun yung order na transfer coming from the committee.
So, can you narrate it to us? Kasi according to Atty. Lopez, a while ago, 9 men barged into her room and took her phone. And then bago binasa yung transfer order, dun po sa inyong sinasabi, women po ang pumasok. Can you just
I think the video and pictures would speak better than However, I'm going to explain it. We'll provide you the video and we'll show you. Diba? Pumasok ko dun sa kwarto, nasa likod doon yung isang lalaki, tatlong female LSB personnel po natin yung umabasa at makikita niyo po na kalmadong-kalmado yung sitwasyon. So we can provide you copies of that video in a bit.
And she refused during the first
Opo.
time. Why was there a need to read the transfer orders that they had?
Dahil failure nga po yung hindi man ako tatanggap ng na hindi umubra nung una dahil ayaw kong sumama. So sumubok ko tayo ulit ng baka this time sumama na. Pero during this second attempt nga po, ando na po yung si BP Sara. At nagkasabi na siya na yung official na lawyer. So naging futile din mo yung attempt dyan sa pangalawang pagbasa.
So yung papasok po ni Vicky Sara sa loob ng custodial, yung room ni Atty. Lopez, pwede po ba yun sa rules ng cited in contempt po si Atty. Lopez?
Alam niyo po, hindi mo pwede yun. Actually, that's being the Vice President, we bent over backwards and allowed her to go beyond yung mga house rules limitations natin. So the answer to your question is pinagbigyan mo natin pero sumobra. And it is bawal na ho yung ginagawa na sinasabi ninyo na beyond yung certain time, beyond actually Friday yun, dapat beyond 5 o'clock po. Hindi na ho dapat nakakapasok ang hindi ka mag-anak at hindi detainee mismo.
Sir, sorry, for the record, yung pangalawang beses na binasa yung transfer order, anong oras?
Mag-uumaga na po yun, pero konti lang ang diferensya. If I can give you yung eksakto from our record right now, siguro mga 12:30, past midnight.
And si Vice President Sara actually questioned yung validity ng meeting, sir, kasi sinasabi niya parang wala daw dapat pasok ng House of Representatives on Friday. And na-question din po yung timing nung pagbasa ng transfer order na nangyari late at night. Can you explain lang this?
Well, unang-una, nasa rules naman po namin na allowed po kami na magkaroon ng special session via Zoom. So yun nga po yung nangyari. So in fact, pati po yung quorum, sinecure po namin, tinignan po namin. Dahil ito po kasing sitwasyon is emergency situation dahil security risk na po ang pinag-uusapan po natin dito. Hindi naman po natin po pwedeng antayin pa na maglunes. Dahil kung maglulunis pa po, baka po may mangyari between last night until early morning of Monday, medyo delikado na po yun. Kaya po, ito naman po ay concern, hindi lamang po ng isa, dalawang miyembro, kundi marami pong miyembro ang tumawag po sa akin. Kaya po tayo nagpatawag ng special session.
Yung timing, sir, ng pagbasa ng transfer order na gabi.
Paano again? Pakiulit po yung...
Yung timing po ng pagbasa ng transfer order, pag-execute ng transfer order na nabanggit nyo nga po 11:30 to 12:30. So, medyo patulog na dapat daw yung Atty. Lopez.
Alam niyo ba, wala na pong sinasabi na patayan kung anong oras yung dapat na-implement. Apo? Dahil nga dun sa sitwasyon na medyo tensionado sa ating Kongreso, minarapat po na ng ating security na i-implement tapusin kagad yung transfer order. So wala naman kami na violate na batas by doing that.
Sir, sinabi rin po na may kinuha daw po na sa akin.
Then again, the best explanation for that will be the video that we will be providing you. It should show kung meron bang kinuhang cellphone yung ating mga security.
Sir, sige, pag-usapan din natin yung issue dun sa ambulansya. Meron pong hinarang ng ambulansya sa Northgate when Atty. Lopez wasn't feeling well. Can you explain why that happened and bakit natagalan yung pag-respond to her medical needs?
Hindi po natagalan. Dahil meron naman po tayong ambulansya, yung doktor. Sila po yung ayaw ng doktor natin at yung ambulansya po nila at yung doktor nila ang gustong pumasok. But that is it requires clearance po ng ating Secretary General. So, we had to wait bago at diniscuss din ni Secretary General yan sa House officials. Yun ang yung reason ng delay. Wala na pong iba.
So sir, merong mga house medical staff who tried to
Actually, nung ilang araw na po natin na ino-offer yan at palagi yung tinatanggihan until I think yesterday morning, pumayag na po na magpa-check sa ating MDS na in-house doctors. Pero hindi po natuloy dahil nung naakma na yung sinangayunan nila na oras na magpapacheck, eh dinecline na naman po ni Attorney Lopez.
Okay, sir. So, dinala na po si Attorney Lopez initially veterans tapos ngayon ay lilipat na siya sa safety.
Yung hinihintay ko natin yung report ng at yung nga po yung at gusto nila nasa St. Luke's magpunta pero hindi ko alam yung actual development.
Actually, nakalipat na po ako, nakarating na po ako ng St. Luke's.
St. Luke's.
Right now. Sir, because she's cited in contempt, anong magiging dangers nun kapag, syempre, St. Luke's is a private hospital and mas malapit din yung yung veteran. So, ano yung magiging implications kapag, yun nga, nailipat siya sa St. Luke's?
Ang implication po is dapat po talaga hindi yung St. Luke's. Dapat po sa veterans. Dahil yun yung government hospital ang authorized na pagdadala natin. So, aalamin pa po natin kung bakit ang may gusto ng St. Luke's is sila. So, aalamin po natin kung paano nangyari ngayon at just like yung several instances dito, itong nakaraang ilang araw, palagi yung OVP ang nasusunod at nababiolate nga po palagi yung ating house rules.
So sir, ano yung next action points natin with regards to Attorney Lopez? Because she's supposed to be transferred to the women's the facility.
Sinabi ko po kanina dun sa aking statement, yung order po ng committee stands and we will implement yung transfer.
That's after she's discharged from the hospital?
Yes.
Okay, sir. And kay VP Sara naman po yung mention that could be obstruction of justice. Meron po bang reklamo may sasampa laban kay Vice President Sara regarding how she acted with regard to this issue?
I believe our lawyers in the House are already studying that, so I'm not in a position to give a response.
Just to add, alam po ninyo sa ating pong saligang batas, ang presidente po, ang vice presidente po, at ang mga miyembro po ng kabinete ay hindi po inaalaw na mag-practice ng kanilang profession. Kaya po hindi ko po alam kung ano po yung legal basis ng ating vice president para sabihin po niya na siya ay nag-i-stand as legal counsel of Attorney Lopez.
Sir, pero di ba, kunwari, si Senator Tolentino stands as legal counsel ni Senator Bato, meron bang ganun inaalaw na?
Specific po kasi yung ating constitution. President, Vice President, at saka members ng cabinet.
So, hindi po siya.
Yung mga senador, under limited practice yan kung hindi po ako nagkakamali, at saka mga congressman. Yan po ay nasa ating saligang batas.
And sir, nabanggit kasi although vague lang na sinabi ni VP Sara na posible na magsampa sila ng reklamo regarding what happened tonight. Yung nga yung may pagharang sa ambulansya at pagkuha umano ng cellphone. Paano po yan i-address na ating representatives?
Hintayin po natin kung ano yung complaint dahil hindi ko alam kung ano yung sinasabing complaint na haharapin po natin.
Sir, VP Sara said po na humingi daw po sila ng tulong sa mga tao doon pero wala na po pumansin at nag-respond. Question po, why did it take so long po for Attorney Lopez to be taken to the hospital?
napaliwanag ko kanina, no, na ang assessment po natin is hindi naman ganun ka-serious yung medical condition, and on the way na rin naman yung ating yung mga medical doctors. Tingin ko hindi naman ganun katagal na yung hinintay. Nakadating na rin yung doktor. Ang sinasabi ko na siguro may naging katagalan is yung pag-aalaw natin ng pagpasok ng doktor po nila. Napaliwanag ko naman ang reason lang is meron naman tayong house doctors. Bakit hindi natin bibigyan muna ng tiwala?
Sir, after this, si Kong Paulo, nag-reach out ba after what happened tonight?
After?
After what happened tonight? Kasi ang letter ay sa office niya mag-stay si Vice President Sara. Has he reached out to the committee? Or...
Tumawag po sa akin si Congressman Paulo. Yun nga, binabanggit po niya yung paglipat ng kanyang, sabi ko, hindi naman po para sa akin na magdesisyon yan because that is the decision of the committee. Dahil lahat naman po yung mga sulat nila, ito po lahat ay kinukonfirm po natin sa mga miyembro po natin at hinihingi rin po natin ang kanilang mga insights at saka mga opinion.
Sir, tumawag si Congressman Paulo regarding the transfer order?
Ay, hindi po. Yung pong sa paggamit ng kanyang kwarto, yun lamang po.
But after what happened tonight, meron
Wala
po
po.
bang...
Wala po ako natanggap na tao.
Okay. Sir, before we conclude, may polling question na si Billy sa Marco Politi na although natanong na ng DNA sa yung obstruction of justice, kay Chairman Chua, kung may nakikita kayo yung mag-stay ni Vicky and then yung pagpasok sa detention center ng P1D, limited allowable time ng mga tao. At saka kay Senator Taas, sir, yung update daw po ng health condition ni Atty. Lopez nung tumating sa BMMC, kung meron.
Actually, sinagot ko na po yan dahil may sulat po talaga si VP Sara na nagre-request na kung po pwede siya sumama dun sa loob ng detention. Ang sinabi ko po, hindi po namin siya inaalaw dahil nga po hindi naman po siya detainee. Pero pinapayagan po natin siya na bumisita during the period na inaalaw po sa guidelines ng Sergeant at Arms. So yun lang po yung inaalaw. In fact, marami naman po tayong inalaw sa mga ni-request nila Kaya nga hindi po namin malaman kung bakit po kailangan humantong pa sa pagmamatigas at i-insist pa yung ganito. Po pwede naman po silang umuwi. The following day, po pwede naman po silang bumalik.
Sir, in the future po, will VP Sara still be allowed to stay po overnight sa kwarto ni Kong Paulo?
Actually, concern po yan ng ng Sergeant at Arms.
Actually, hindi po talaga dapat yan. Wala ko tayong pinapayagan. And with what we have experienced, I think you'll agree with me. We are in the same boat and we will not allow a similar occurrence in the future.
And not yung health condition status.
Okay, yung nakuha po nating report kay yung doktor ng Philippine National Police kasama ho ni Atty. Lopez na nagdala sa kanya sa veterans. Ang condition po is doon sa veterans, ang resulta po is normal lang lahat ng vital signs, even her ECG. Kaya nga po nagtataka kami kung bakit kinakailangan pa na ilipat at ipa-check pa sa St. Luke's. Perhaps second opinion or just for added peace of mind. But ang last na report po sa atin ng ating PNP doctor is normal ang condition. She's in pretty good shape.
Sir, but kasi, so if normal po yung condition niya, ano po talaga yung mga
Well, I cannot confirm. I'm not a doctor, but from the reports that we got also, not specifically from the PNP doctor, parang panic attack ang observation.
Sir, na-mention din mo kanina sa interview with VP Sara na itong si Attorney Lopez, she took a ball pen and then she aimed it after this po. Ano po kaya mga possible interventions na pwede po regarding that?
Hindi naman po siya, hindi naman po, minomonitor po natin yan. Train po yung ating mga HREP, Custodial Center officers na kung merong signs na suicidal, we have not, daily po natin chinecheck yun. That's also one reason why twice a day po natin kinukuha yung vitals for us to get the opportunity na i-assess yung ating detainees kung meron bang suicidal tendencies. And as regards Attorney Lopez, wala ho tayong report from all the duty na nire-report po ng on a regular basis yun. Wala pong suicidal tendencies.
Thank you for concluding our press conference. Thank you for your
Thank you so much.